record. I'm going to go hit share screen. And we'll get rolling. Hello, Lisa Larkin. Okay. Let me make that big. Oh, you guys, I got a new computer, so I'm not seeing how to make it big. Huh. You can see my slide though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Erin, if you try
Zoom?
view.
Oh, view.
Slide only. Yeah.
I think there's actually in
At the very top to the right of Keynote.
There, I clicked on it.
in file. Oh, play. I think it's the play one across
Yeah.
the very top
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
the bar.
Oh,
There you go.
goodness. Thank you, everybody. Well, welcome to week 2 of Facebook Bootcamp. We are going to review a little bit of what we talked about last week and cover Facebook Live and the power of using video. We're going to talk a little bit about the mindset to get over fears that people might have over video. But before we do that, are there any wins or major questions from last week's material? I'd love to hear successes or wins you've had or questions.
Yes.
Okay. So if there's not any to start out with, why don't you all mute yourself and we'll get started.
I have school tomorrow. I would need probably a little bit later in the afternoon.
Where is my, sorry, I can't find my little mouse. There it is. Oh, that's weird, you guys. I lost my mouse. Anyways, okay. So.
Okay, let me look at my calendar and I will call you. Can I call you right back?
Susan, can you mute yourself?
Okay, bye.
Can you mute yourself, Susan?
I'm sorry, yes.
Okay, thanks, friend. All right, so let's get into it. So I want to review a couple things kind of as the overarching umbrella issues and points we want to make. So when we're thinking of posting, whether it's a Facebook Live or a video or a post, the goal in Facebook, right? The goal is to connect and build long-term relationships. We want you excited when you're posting. We want you consistent, positive. So Facebook, and you may have different opinions about this, but if you're building a business and a brand, I highly suggest that you veer away from anything negative. I would say you talk to your friends and your family about that stuff, and that Facebook is just off limits for that. And that might seem obvious, but I see a lot of people doing that. It's just not the place to go and complain. That does not help build your brand. We're going to talk about, you definitely want to be going live and doing videos. Asking questions is a really great skill, a little trick to do, because that increases engagement. And then we're going to talk about joining groups. We're going to talk more about that in the weeks to come, but joining groups where you have genuine interest. So there is a whole land out there, and you probably may know about this, of Facebook groups, and you literally can start searching for them. I would recommend you join 1 or 2 groups, and I would recommend they have a lot of people in them, and by a lot I would say 2,000, 3,000 people, and then I would recommend you hang out and get some traction in those groups. And those groups are where you literally, I want you to think of Facebook groups as a networking luncheon. So instead of going to American Business Women Association luncheon, if you're not doing that, this is very much like that. It can be viewed like that. My 2 best friends who I talk to daily now, I met on Facebook. And, it started out with commenting on their posts. It turned into coffee chats where literally let's get to know each other better. Let's hop on the phone, to best friends. And so that is really going to help you grow your network. And what's cool is you don't have to leave your home, and you can do it outside of office hours, right? So you can really grow your network in your cold market through Facebook groups as well. Facebook don'ts. We talked about this last time, but you don't want to be an infomercial. I had a prospect reach out to me for coaching this week, and she's in a network marketing company. And I mean, you go on her Facebook page, and it's the only thing she posts about. That's an infomercial, and no one's responding to it. Don't post links, and so we talked about that also. If you do post links to things, like I will post links to get tickets to go to Brave, for example, but I'm going to put those in the comment section so that Facebook doesn't like that if you're blatantly using your personal page to grow your business, and that would be pretty blatant. And so drop them in the comments if you have links. Don't add people to your groups without their permission, without talking to them. It's a real pet peeve of people's. Don't bash being an employee or your competitors. And so that may seem such a small little nuance, but we don't want to bash where sometimes we don't mean to bash it, but we paint this picture of, I'm so glad I'm not there anymore. And we may cut off all the people that are there and they want to get to where we're going. Okay. So try to remember how you felt before that your eyes were open, so to speak, about the things you're posting about. Don't be negative. Don't post about politics and religion. My husband breaks the rule on this one, and he loves it. He gets into all these conversations, but that's not helping our brand, because guess what? You have one person that disagrees with you, and they're no longer going to purchase from you. Okay? And then something that really has shifted is network marketing companies especially used to, say the power of duplication, and they would transfer that thinking over to posting. And so everyone was posting the same post. And there would be days you're like, oh, everyone's posting the same post. Yes, it's duplicatable, but that form of duplication does not work on social media. You want to duplicate your systems and processes, but not your copy and paste posts. Okay. I want to talk to you about the power of video and why we're going to get so jazzed about Facebook Lives and videos, and why we're doing this. So just some really interesting statistics that I think will motivate you. So before reading any text on your website, 60% of people will watch your video before they read anything. There is a really cool piece of data that says 1 minute of video has the same impact as 1.8 million words. That is why marketing and sharing your brand with video is so much more effective. So 56% of people believe now if you have a website, you should have a video. So if you go to my website, there's a little video at the top. Like, people are going to watch your video before they're going to read your text. The average user spends 16 minutes a month watching ads. That's a lot. That's a lot of time, given that your attention span these days is 30 seconds or less. And then YouTube has become the second largest search engine, bigger than Bing, Yahoo, Ask, and AOL combined. So people aren't going to Google anymore to search. They're actually searching in things like Instagram. So people are getting off of Google. Say they wanted to find a Reno interior designer. They're going to type those words in to Instagram. And Nicole wants to make sure she becomes at the top of the list, which I just think is so interesting. Okay, video search results have a higher click-through rate than text, 41% higher. People will stay with you. They stay engaged. 50% of consumers believe that video testimonials, tutorial videos, hello makeup tutorial videos, all those little YouTubers are making it big. And demonstrations are the most effective types of video. So Nicole, you could do a demo video of, let's look at this bookshelf and let's look how I bibbidi bobbidi boo, change it, and what I'm thinking of how I change that. Now everyone go out and rearrange your bookcase and send me your before and after pictures. Let's have fun with this. Like, that would be super useful. Lisa, you could do the same kind of demo. I've got these 5 little pieces. I bought clothes from my I have a friend who's a stylist, and she works from Nordstrom. So she's not really leveraging her income, but she does these Facebook Lives from her changing room in Nordstrom, where she's in an outfit And then she pulls these other outfits and shows you, like, I could do this, I could mix and match this shirt. And look at, I've got this other outfit. So here for 6 pieces, I just showed you how to make 17 outfits. I literally messaged her immediately. I said, I want the dress you're wearing. I don't really care how much it costs. Thank God it was like $89. And I bought it. That's the power of video that you're sitting on, Lisa. I've been to your shows. When we watch you, it's like magic. So there's so many ways we can use video. Your website is 50 times more likely to appear on the first page of Google if it has video. Online traffic, they say by this year, is going to account for 75 to 80%. And I think you've probably noticed all of a sudden people are getting into doing lives. Like, people never used to do this, and everyone's kind of hopping on the bandwagon, and there's a reason, because those text posts are just missed. You can reach your customers more, people are saying, and they'll stay 2 minutes longer on your site. And 2 minutes longer, that's a long time someone visiting your site. Okay, here's why. Psychologically, videos tell stories and build emotional connections. And we know from sales research that 90% of purchasing decisions are based on emotions, not information. So when that stylist is in the changing room and she's saying, like, look how amazing you're going to feel, like, that works for me. Okay. Video grabs attention. We just looked at all those stats. People keep listening and will stop and watch you. YouTubers are watching 3 billion hours of video a month. This is what's also a very, very exciting statistic. 1 billion new phones are going to be distributed and purchased on the planet in the next coming year. So 1 billion people who don't have smartphones are going to have smartphones in their hot little hands, which is where all this is happening. So you want a piece of that pie. They're more likely to buy from you. And here's what video does. It increases your know, like, and trust factor. And in typical sales, really before the age of the internet, you really needed about 5 to 7 touches before someone would even consider buying from you. Now, because we're so inundated with information and access, it takes 25 to 28 touches. Now, that number can be significantly changed if, for example, you're speaking in front of people or they're there touching your clothing, for example. But people are more savvy because there's more information available to us. So you might say, I've got this amazing vacuum, but I've got Google and I can go research consumer reports. I can go look around, right? So it's going to take more touches to increase your know, like, and trust factor. So your video and Facebook lives are growing your brand. They're growing your connection, and they're attracting leads into your business. So I can't tell you how many times I get, oh my gosh, I love following you on Facebook, right? People are watching. I love your messaging. Whether they comment or not, they're watching you, and which we know. So, okay, are you afraid? So we're going to talk about just a little bit of what I hear so commonly and what I experienced. I mean, I didn't do my first Facebook Live until probably 7 months ago. And I didn't really know that I should be doing it. I wasn't deathly terrified of it, but I used to be afraid of speaking, if you can believe that. The number one goal for my time in graduate school was to get me to talk in classes. Like, there's been major development and growth here, okay? But speaking is the number one fear of all human beings. It trumps snakes and death and flying and falling and all the bad things. It just trumps all of them. And someone just needs to mute again. Elizabeth Bachman, she's a speaking coach on the phone. She knows all about this. People hate speaking. Now, someone needs to mute out. I think it might be Susan. Not sure. No, the other Susan. Elizabeth, sorry. Here's what is the phenomenon of Facebook Live. Oh, I didn't see that, Nicole, sorry. Oh, Gary, thank you. Gary, can you please mute yourself? Thank you, thank you. So here's the phenomenon which makes public speaking different than Facebook Lives. And pick your poison, which one you hate more. But the problem with Facebook Lives are you don't get that feedback that you get from someone sitting in the front row, nodding their head, smiling at you, giving you that nonverbal feedback of you're doing okay. And you also don't get that verbal engagement. So what I'm going to teach you will help with that, because your goal is to actually get people talking to you on your Facebook Live, which means they're going to be posting, right? And that helps a lot. Another is you don't have an audience, so it's weird. So a trick that a lot of people use and that's helped me, especially in the beginning, was to imagine speaking to one person and imagine that their face is kind of right behind the camera of your phone. I think, Gary, you still need to mute out. I'm not sure. So that can really help.
It says I'm muted.
Oh, yeah, you're unmuted. Okay. Here's the thing we know about fear. Fear shows up usually, often, as the thing you need to do, right? So let it be your indicator of, ooh, that's must be where I really need to go because I'm kind of afraid of it. Usually that can be the case, right? Especially when you're going to business and you know something good is out there for you and you're scared to do it. It means you need to be doing it. And second, guess what? We know that practice and confidence will build the confidence, which will kill the fear. Okay? So it's okay, remember, to go through Suckville. You just don't want to visit long, right? So it's okay to be bad, to be good, and good to be great. So practice makes patterns and practice makes progress. I'm going to see if I can, just a second. Okay. There, we got him muted. Okay, so here are the ingredients to a really effective Facebook Live. First of all, you're going to do these from your phone most often. You can do them from a laptop, but you're going to do them from your phone most often. You want to have, good lighting, etc. But I want you to start right away. And what you'll see is a lot of people hopping on and then waiting for people to show up. And guess what happens when other people hop on and you're waiting? They hop right off. Okay? So you can start talking. You can start doing a little bit of intro. You don't necessarily have to dive immediately into your points, but I want you to start right away and start speaking, get engagement. You could say, oh my gosh, it's a beautiful day here in Reno. We just had snow. We haven't had snow for like ever. And that allows people to hop on. It gives you a little bit of time, but you're already talking, okay? Something then that I want you to think about is bookending your Facebook Live with who you are. And we can work on either your title or what you help people with, or even a tagline. And so a really great way to create a tagline is to use this sentence structure. I help blank to blank. Or I help blank to blank without blank. So I help people get fit and lean without breaking the bank. I'm your go-to coach for helping people get fit and lean without breaking the bank. I help people make money off of Facebook without ever leaving their home. Okay, so really use the group as feedback as you're thinking about what you want your tagline or your introduction or your title to be, because it's going to be super important and powerful. Because at the end of each Facebook Live, also you're going to say, so glad you came on. Again, this is Dr. Erin, your mindset and high performance strategist for business owners and entrepreneurs who want to make money doing what they love. I will catch you next time. Thanks for hopping on. Like, it's going to be just ingrained in you, and it's going to be easy for you, and it's going to be something you're really passionate about, and it feels like words that you would use and words that your ideal client would use. So that's a whole nother concept that I'm happy to help coach you through, because I spent months trying to figure out what I was doing, who I was serving, and what I would call myself. So that can be tricky. I get that. So I'm happy to help you with that. Okay. Another thing, then you're gonna, you can say, if you're new to my Facebook Lives, drop the word new below. the reason why you're starting to have them drop things below or let me know where you're listening in from is because then you can start engaging with them. So I like to use the rule of I only will state someone's name and kind of acknowledge they're on or out them, so to speak, if they're commenting, because not everyone who's watching wants everyone else to know they're watching. That can sometimes be the case. So people can just be sitting there viewing it and they don't necessarily want you to shout out their name. So I will start engaging. Oh, thanks, Nicole, for hopping on. Yep, you're right below me. That's a really funny story. She's below me in the office. You know, I would shout out people once they type something in. I also say, if you're watching on the replay, drop the words replay. I love my replayers and I want to connect with you afterwards and learn more about you and all the amazing things you're up to in the world. That's been really, really effective because then I hop over to Facebook Messenger for my replayers and I get to know them. Especially, I mean, obviously, if I don't know them, I'm going to hop over there. So you start with some kind of question that's engaging. So I just did one on the Olympics. I might start out with, I introduce myself and then I might say, who in here is addicted to watching the Olympics? Drop a 1 below. Let me see my Olympic fans. Oh my gosh, I've got so much I want to share with you about what I'm noticing about the Olympics. Okay. Anything to just get them to start creating an action on your Facebook Live. And that's going to make it more fun for you, and it's going to make it more feel like it's a presentation or like a conversation, right? Okay, content can be around 8 to 15 minutes. So videos are a different story. Videos need to be short. Videos need to be 2 to 5, and I'll put that stat up there. But your content for a Facebook Live is not where you hop on and then you just quickly get off. Facebook Live is where you're creating engagement. So if you want to do a 2-minute video of look at where I'm at in this big stadium with all my 25,000 friends, just do a little video. But a Facebook Live, people want to respond and say, hi, oh my gosh, that looks fun. And they want you to respond back to them and say, yeah, I want you here with me next year, you know? So if you're not going to stay on for more than a couple minutes, just do a video. Last, might sound obvious, but thank them every single time. They've given you 8 to 12 minutes of their life, which is amazing these days and ages, right? When you're hopping over to Facebook Messenger and seeing that they hit a replay, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Oh my gosh, you know, whatever your question is after that. How are the kids? Or what was the thing that you liked the most about what you heard? Or what's your favorite Olympic sport you're watching? Oh my gosh, you know, right. So thank them and then bookend it again with your reiterate who you are. And then somewhere towards the end, I want you to think of every Facebook Live, you want to have a call to action. Now, a call to action means what you want them to do next. Now, a call to action could be anything from, I'm going to be hopping here on again tomorrow. Can't wait to see you there. It could be, if you want my free gift, if you have a free gift, drop the words free gift below and I'll send that over to you. If you want to learn more about what I just shared, drop the words yes, please below. These are all call to action. If you want to learn more about Inspire Reno, great news, we're having a grand opening on March 3rd. I'm going to drop the link below after I hop off, and all the details will be there. It's what's next. How can they hear from you next? How can they engage with you next? Where can they get more of you next? Okay? So you see that Facebook Lives are very intentional, right? They're not just entertainment. You want to maximize your Facebook Lives. Okay. Let's talk about naming your Facebook Live. And please, again, if any of you have questions, you feel free to unmute yourself and hop in at any time. And I'll take questions at the end also, but let me know. Okay. So naming your Facebook Live is also important. And a lot of people don't even name their Facebook Live. So let's have a title for every Facebook Live you do. And these are some ideas to pull from, so you'll never run out of ideas of how to name it, okay? So create curiosity. the secret to 17 years of a happy marriage. We can't wait to share with you, right? The secret to staying lean over the holidays. You could name it as something that you're teaching. So how to, right? You could use numbers in your how to. So 5 steps for blah, blah, blah. How to cook a vegan meal in less than 5 minutes, right? You could ask questions. That's a really great use of a title. So who here wants to learn, or how do we blah, blah, blah. And you can even put some content in your Facebook title as well. So you can say, you know, Garth and I were watching the Olympics and we thought of how these Olympians are teaching us a lot about our business and how to grow your business. That could be after your title. And you can use emojis in your title. Again, that's always a good thing. Make it about them. So here's a thing that will help you. People want to know how the content of what you're sharing relates to them. So if my title is our top tips for 17 years of wedded bliss, that's great for Erin and Garth, but how can I apply it to you? I might add, and how you can apply these to your relationship. You see the difference? It pulls them in and makes it about you. That's just a great speaking tip, and any great tip. People want to know how it applies to them. So instead of, look how great I look in this cabbie outfit, you know, which Lisa would never say, but it's how can you feel? How can dressing like this change your day? How can it change your confidence? How could a pair of jeans actually raise your confidence? Would you like to learn more? You know, I mean, it's about them. And then tell stories. So stories sell, right? Facts tell. It's all about storytelling these days, especially on social media and especially in Facebook Lives. So don't be afraid to start telling a story. And you see, it's going to take a couple minutes to tell you a story. So another thing that I often will use to trigger myself for creating content so that you never run out of content is, another thing is, what have you been reading or watching or experiencing that you can then hop over to a Facebook Live and share? So I'll give you an example. I might say, oh my gosh, I was reading this prevention magazine in the doctor's office and it said this. Let me tell you what it said, and then I want to hear what I want to share my thoughts about it, and I can't wait to see what you think about it. So they said blah blah blah, right? You get what I'm saying. So it's in your day-to-day life, you can find reasons to post. You'll find reasons to do a Facebook Live. So if any of you are writers, you know, when you're a writer, you're constantly looking for content. It's like you see the world through these lenses of, oh, I could write a blog about that. Oh, I could write a post about that. That's why I want you to start thinking in terms of your day-to-day experiences. Like, I wonder, that's how my brain thinks, and it's really helpful. So I'm watching the Olympics. The Olympics are all about high performers. What do I want to say about this that's on brand? Okay, how can I link it up to my brand? So I have, for example, a client who's a business developer, and that's her brand, right? But she wanted to somehow convey that she also does these energy healings and spiritual stuff. And instead of just hopping on and saying, I do this, we want to link it up to, how the heck can spirituality actually help someone grow a business? That's brand, that's on brand. So always kind of wrapping it around, right? Okay. So engagement is the goal. So again, it's not even quantity, it's quality of engagement. That's what's going to tell you you're having some success and people are liking what you're sharing. So asking questions. Here's a couple tips, and if you've ever watched my Facebook Lives, you see us doing this. But anytime you can get them to engage through a question. So these are some little strategies. You can say things like, drop a 1 below if you relate to that, or drop a 1 below if you also love the Olympics, right? You can drop emojis. So if anyone here would love to learn how to make more money in less time, drop some money bag emojis. Like, let's have a moment for some money bags, right? So you can use your emojis that way. Who here would like, I think I mentioned this earlier, who here would like to learn more about this? Drop the word yes in the comments. Who here would like to feel more confident and not stare at their closet one more day saying, I have nothing to wear? Drop the raised hand emoji if you have stared at your closet and thought, I have nothing to wear, right? That's fun, it gets engagement. So I hope that really helps. Play along with that. When I was first doing Facebook Lives, and I've seen this in so many of my clients, we all forget to do this stuff. We just want to say something and then get off. We're just like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't fumble around and run out of my words. And this is kind of that elevated skill set. And so sometimes I would even put on a Post-it note on my computer, drop a 1 if. Like I kind of script it out sometimes. So if that's a great tip for a lot of you. If we don't want you hopping on Facebook Live and hoping that you'll come up with something to say, like hoping you can fill up 5 minutes. I don't script my Facebook Lives, but I give myself a skeleton structure, and then I put it on a Post-it note, and I put the Post-it note right near the camera. And if Garth and I are doing together, which we often do, we go through, okay, first I'm going to start, I'm going to introduce, and I might put Erin, intro. And I know what an intro now means for me. It says, drop the word new, drop the word replay, drop our titles, blah, blah, blah. And then we might know I'm kicking it over to you. But, when you're doing your own Facebook Live, make yourself a little script and put it right by the camera. That will really help reduce your anxiety as well. And practice, fear hates a plan, right? Anxiety hates a plan. And so, if you want to be a good speaker, you practice your speech, right? Same with Facebook Lives. You can go through in your brain. Don't just willy-nilly it, Think about, these are the 5 points I want to make. What do I exactly want to say? What are the big points I want to say about them? Because I'm going to get sidetracked. I'm going to start engaging with people, and it's going to be fun. And I'm going to forget this if I don't, right? I mean, and you throw in anxiety and you're going to forget things. Okay. The whole point of all of this, if the whole point is building a business and building your brand, the exciting part is that we're capturing leads. And when we talk about what a lead is on social media and on Facebook, a lead is anyone that's engaging. So a lead is someone who likes your post, shares it, comments on it, expresses interest in it, or raises their hand to learn more. And what I mean by that is, say you drop a 1 below if you want to learn more, and they're dropping a 1. Like they're Facebook land raising their hand. They're indicating they're engaging. So basically anyone who responds to you at all is a lead. So you could, and you will have a never-ending supply of leads. Doesn't that sound exciting? Never-ending supply. You probably won't even be able to get to all your leads. That's a fun way to do business, okay? And what I mean by that is, you literally, on every post, you can click on who liked and loved, who clicked the like, and they'll give you a list. And you can work your lead generator list over in Facebook Messenger. And when you go over to Facebook Messenger, the number 1 rule is just don't be weird. Just be yourself. Okay? So what I mean by this is, over in Facebook Messenger, you literally are just going to be yourself, and you're not going to be salesy, and you're not going to worry about your scripts, and you're not going to worry about verbiage. You're going to pretend that this is a normal conversation, and you're going to remind yourself that, and you're just going to start conversation most of the time. Sometime you'll literally prospect, and because maybe you will have asked a question that is like, if you want to make money off of Facebook and never leave your home, drop a 1 below and I'll hook over with, on Facebook Messenger. If you have a prospecting question that's direct, then I'm going to hop over and say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I would love to share with you. Tell me a little bit about your business goals. Like, how much money are we talking here? I can't wait to hear about where things are at with your family and what you're wanting to build, what you're looking for in a business. What I do over in Facebook Messenger is I start the conversation and I end with a question. And the question is almost this like, tag your it. It's a call to action. It's not just thanks for hopping on my Facebook Messenger, my Facebook Live. It's not just a statement, it's a question. Because then guess what? If they haven't responded in 3 days, you get to say, oh my gosh, I was just thinking about you. I know we haven't connected since that Facebook Live, but I know things get so busy. How are you doing? Whatever. Again, you can re-engage. Or I don't know if my message got lost in the shuffle, but tell me, and I know you're so excited to make money on Facebook. I can't wait to share with you how Garth and I are doing it. Where are you guys at? What are your goals? Because then they'll tell you, and then you'll know, like, should we get on the phone? Should I send them a tool? Should I send them more information? Like all that jazz, right? You're just starting the conversation. If it's not a direct prospecting question, you're literally going to just start conversation. If it's someone you know that you haven't talked to in a while, I might hop over and say, Lisa, oh my gosh, I saw your daughter just got married. Was that in your backyard? Like, that was incredible. Have a great day. I can't wait to hear what's new. Right? So what I mean by don't be weird, we're not going to get over there and say, oh my gosh, I would love to tell you how to create financial freedom. And I have this amazing opportunity. Would you like to learn more? I can send you something. No, you're going to start conversation, because the person that's asking questions, okay, this is a big, big success strategy. The person asking questions is in control of the conversation. The person asking questions is the leader. I want you asking questions with purpose and intent. This can help you create content for your Facebook Live. Let me roll it back for you and tell you how I think about this. If I know that it's my one post during the week that's a direct prospecting post, remember we talked about for every week, 6 posts are going to be educate, inspire, or entertain, and 1 is going to be about your business or your products or services. I then think, what do I want to accomplish? What's the end result? Do I want to book presentations? Do I want to sell products? Do I want to enroll them in my next Facebook Bootcamp? So I'm going to start to think about how to ask questions around their pain points. So let me give you an example. If I'm selling a 30-day cleanse, I'm going to start asking for engagement around problems that I know I can solve. So drop a 1 below if anyone listening would like more energy. Drop a 1 below if you're overwhelmed by all these different fads and diets that are out there, okay? Because that gives me a reason to engage. I saw you dropped a 1. Tell me about your energy. Do you see? So I'm very intentional about the questions I'm asking because I know I have a solution for them. Because that's then a fun way to do sales. Sales is just serving, sales is solving a problem. So set up your questions, set up the content to be a shoe-in for, I can solve that. So Nicole might go around and say, have you ever looked at your living room and thought, okay, it's looked like this for 12 years. It's time for a refresh. Like, I've changed. You need to change, but you haven't. It's not me, it's you. I gotta quit you, right? That could be a fun Facebook Live. Drop some hearts below if you would love to fall in love with your living room again. Like, if you want to break up with your living room and find a new one, drop some hearts below. Gives her a direct reason to hop on over and start doing business and asking questions that are related to a direct sell. Okay. Here's what I want to remind us all of. Attraction marketing is just what it is. It's attraction marketing. You're attracting people to you but it's not closing the sale. It's not active prospecting. It's not going digging for gold and figuring out what people need so you can help them. It's just the first step to then actively prospecting. So attraction marketing is passive and it's the first step. So I never want anyone to think that a post or a Facebook Live by itself is going to sell or enroll people into your stuff. It's what you do with it. And it's a great way to get leads versus cold calling people, right? So prospecting is different than marketing. And I always like to explain that. So I had a client once, she's like, I just did a Facebook Live and I haven't made any sales. Like, whoa, Nelly, we got to back it up. And we're gonna use the attraction marketing to get to the next step, to then close and enroll. The thing I want to just say about videos, I mentioned this, but videos are another option. And these are when you want to do 2 to 5 minutes, something shorter. And this is a great app to use for filters, so they can make you look real nice. It's called YouCam Perfect, and that's a fun one. Facebook Live has lots of filters also that are really fun. So you might have seen people coming on with funny masks or hats on. What I would suggest, if you do that, and they're great, they capture everyone's attention, you want to go back to a normal filter, just your normal self, after you've hopped on for a minute or so. So you don't want to do your whole Facebook Live from a silly hat with sunglasses, but you can start with that and have fun with that. It will definitely capture attention, but then there's a place you can I can help you with that, or other people in the group, but you'll tap on no filter and you'll go back to just you, because it's a lot to watch for that long of a period of time. All right, let's open it up for questions and thoughts. Everyone can unmute themselves if you'd like.
Hey, I have a question.
Yes.
So when you have, like, in some of the direct selling, and even in my business, once you've captured the customer, do you try to move them to like a different group where they're seeing different information as opposed to the, information that you're putting out to capture new clients?
Are you asking, do I create a Facebook group for them?
Yeah. Or kind of like a new area where they're getting new information?
Yes, I do. And I'll give you 2 ideas about what you're asking there.
Okay.
Absolutely. So now that you're a customer, I'm going to add you to my VIP customer Facebook group, where you can, and that's where you're going to add all the testimonials, all the before and afters. Have your team start adding into that group, because what that Facebook group does is it creates social proof, and then it shows all sorts of things and all sorts of transformations. And it also takes it away from just being what Nicole thinks is cool to also what everyone else is experiencing. So it's not just a Nicole thinks this product is cool. It's, oh my gosh, those 10 people just lost 10 pounds. Like, I don't want to be left out.
Right.
Yes. So, and what I do is I don't necessarily get their permission, but I always let them know, I'm going to go, now that you're a customer, so I do this in Facebook Messenger. Now that you're a customer of mine, I just put your order in, it's coming in 3 days, so excited. Now that you're a VIP customer of mine, I'm going to go add you to our Facebook group where you can learn about other products. You can see what other people are experiencing. It's called this. I'm going to go add you to that, and I'm going to tag you in a post. So that system is called the Add Tag Message System, the ATM. That is a great thing to do for all of you network marketers. You also could create a group for prospects. Now, give yourself time, because these things take time. If your upline is not doing this and you're creating it on your own, give yourself grace, give yourself time. But everything you're posting, maybe 1 post a day, you could go and put your comp plan over there, or put your, add your team, have them start adding, because that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to use those Facebook groups
Right. Promotions, that sort of stuff that's going on that wouldn't necessarily be applicable for people who aren't part of it.
Yep.
And asking for referrals, like in my
Yes.
design business, that would be a really good place to ask for testimonials and referrals. And
Yes. Another thing to do is you can create a group chat in Messenger for new clients, or if you have them all on the same program or whatnot. That is really good because then they all, again, Facebook Messenger is telling them they're going to start seeing all of your other posts. So that's another way to kind of capture visibility. Another thing you can do in Facebook is you can post to certain lists. There's a list feature, and this is an advanced skill, but you guys are all up for it. You literally can go through all of your contacts, and it takes forever if you have a lot of people, but you could make a list that's all of your customers and only post to those people. I could make, if I am doing an event Monday night for 2 hours, I could go and grab only Reno people. Do people in New York City really need to know about my event? One could argue yes, and one could argue no. So there are ways, and we can talk about that if that helps any of you. You can create lists, and I highly suggest that you do, but so they can be prospects, customers, people in a certain program, etc. Now groups, the bummer about groups is they take a lot of, you're the one that's in charge of them. No one really else is going to post in them. It's hard to get engagement, but they work, they're important. And the cool thing about Facebook groups is that works for you really well is when you post in them, people get notified. So they're always going to get notified of everything you post. So say Lisa goes and posts on her personal wall, the algorithm may be such the case where I don't ever see her post, but if she posts in her group and I'm a member, I'm going to get a notification. So that's a real benefit of groups too.
So would you suggest like promoting a group? Like people, like in my industry, I might say, people who want to learn what it takes to be your own general contractor for your own remodel, you can join this group. And then we could post in that group about that specifically. Would that be beneficial?
We're going to cover Facebook groups in week 4. Okay. Facebook, yes, they're very beneficial. We got to make sure we've got the right one because you can probably only manage one for yourself. Okay, and it's definitely what you want to be known as top of mind expert for.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So you're not going to create groups for other people.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Great questions. What else?
Erin, this is Joanna. I'm curious about the whole 8 to 15 minute thing.
Mm-hmm.
Seems really long. I'm assuming that's like that's a cited, referenced number.
It is. And once you start engaging, you'll see that the time goes so fast. So Garth and I will hop on and we'll be like, oh crap, it was 20 minutes. And you can't make it, you can't make it more than 12 to 15. And sometimes we do, and people will sometimes watch. But it's just not the place where you come in and on for 2 minutes because there's no engagement.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a snapshot video.
And then what about, I think there's a feature where you can schedule your live so that people are aware of it ahead of time.
I don't know about a feature, and if anyone does, that brings up a great point. So sometimes I will post that when I'm going live, that's always useful. So I have one today that I want people to hop on, and that's what I did. I made it something over in Canva. I don't know about a feature.
So if I click on live on my phone right now, I looked it up or something. I don't know. I'll have to, because I did a live in a private group last week. And it did not have the functionality because was in a private group, but I'll have to look it up and see what I can find. I thought there was some feature where you could, so you don't ever schedule it ahead of time. You just give people a heads up that you might just do a post that says you're going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess would you be scheduling it for yourself, you mean? To remind you or to let other people know?
To let other people know.
Yeah, the only way to let people know is to like post or add it to your email list. If anyone has email lists, a lot of people do it there. Like, I'm going to go live today at 2, hop on over and here's the link. That's a really good use of an email list as well.
Hey, Dr. Erin, do you think it would be beneficial to have them at the same time or at the same time and day every week? I think like Ann was talking about, sometimes when you don't get any engagement, it's hard to kind of like keep it going.
So good question. So you literally could do a Facebook Live every day. So I want to first say that it's not too much. And the people that do Facebook Lives every day make a lot of money by doing business on Facebook. Okay. Like, it takes that much traction to get seen.
Okay.
And so instead of posting, you could do Facebook Live every day. No, it doesn't matter the same time every day. But again, if you think about your ideal client, if my moms are, corporate moms that want to leave their job to get home, I'm not going to do it during the day when they're at their corporate job, because I do want most of them to be on live. I do want to try to increase who's not on the replay and who's live. That's the goal. So there's also a playing around with it where you'll notice we got no one then. Like, we got no one on a Friday night, but Sunday night, they're all sitting on their phones, or something. Like, so there's playing around with it. That definitely.
Like statistics someplace where you can kind of see where people are generally engaging?
From everything I've learned, it doesn't, there is no set. It's so dependent on the market of the ideal client.
Okay.
And most of them say it doesn't really matter. What matters is consistency, everyday branding. You remember, you don't want to do more than 2 posts a day. 1 is great because you do a great post, and then if you don't give it enough time to get traction, it goes away.
Got it.
So you want it to like hang out and get people watching it at night when they're coming home and maybe they missed it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What else? Anything else?
Are we eventually going to get into, I feel like my phone doesn't ding me necessarily when people are interacting with my posts. Are we ever going to get into like just how to play with those settings and stuff like that?
Oh, no. I am not your go-to girl for that. I am not your go-to girl for that. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
But I'm happy to help you individually. So I will say that.
Okay.
Because Dr. Karen wants some help with that, and I'm happy. But let's use the group, as the collective wisdom.
Okay.
All the gadgets.
Okay.
And if we've already hopped ahead of where you're at, you guys, please don't be afraid to ask. So next week, we're going to talk a little bit about the Facebook algorithm and how to really increase engagement with that. And then we're going to talk a lot about Facebook Messenger as well. And week 4, we'll talk about Facebook groups and how to name those and what those are, and business pages versus personal a little bit too. So I imagine there are some people in the group that have never done a Facebook Live. And so I would challenge you to have this week be your first week, your first Facebook Live. That would be amazing. Anything else, you guys? Okay, I'll send out the recording, and thanks for joining. And I cannot wait to see you next week and to see your Facebook Lives. And, we can all love on each other's Facebook Lives and posts. That really helps with engagement too. So when you're in a group like this, if you know, you can ask, like, go hop on over to my Facebook Live. I'm going to do it tonight at 6. That's how we can use the group as well. So, all right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank
Thanks.
you.